Hello, friends. Happy Thursday. My name's Janna, and welcome to my channel. Bear with. For some reason, it is not wanting to load onto my iPad. So let me just completely get out of this for a second, because if I can't chat with you, that's not fun. There it is. Yay. Okay. Sometimes it takes a few seconds actually before it shows up live. So if you have the ability to get onto the chat and say hello, please do. So I am going to make a card. I'm sure it's not a new design today, but it is a fun one. And I am using Stampin' Up! Stuff today. So let me show you what I'm going to be playing with. It's all this new poo stuff. So I've got the embossing folder here, which I'm going to use, which is the 100 Acre Woods. This is a huge embossing folder. And I think here, to me, it looks like they embossed it on vellum, which is pretty cool. I'm not going to be embossing on vellum today. Then I've got the Sweet Old Friends bundle, which is the stamp and die set. There's all the dies you get and all the cute Winnie the Pooh characters. And then this bundle called Sweet Words and Labels, and it's got some sentiments and sayings that are very much Pooh. And these are the fun dies. Now this die set is really a standalone die set. You don't have to have the stamps to go with it. I mean, these two stamps do stamp these pretty designs that you could put within these dies, but these dies, here they are, layer on top of each other. So really, you don't need any stamps if you didn't want the stamp set to go along with these dies. When you bundle stamps and die sets, when they offer that, you do save 10% by bundling them together. And then there's paper that goes along with it. I don't think I'm using any of the paper. There's probably more things too, but so there's this cute Pooh paper, and it's called Silly Old Bear. I can't remember if I showed it before. I don't think I have. So the back of this design has like sky on it. Then there's that one, and that's got a pink gingham. There is this one that I'm not wanting to completely pull this. The plastic on this is really tight for some reason. You can do whole card fronts. It has designs for whole card fronts on that piece, and then there's a stripe on the back side. And then there's these pieces that you can cut out with those dies that I just showed you. And there's the 100 Acre Woods on, whoops, on the back of that piece. This piece is more like scenery, trees and all that. There's little Pooh crawling up the tree or climbing up the tree. That's the one that's got the 100 Acre Woods on the back. And then there's more like scatter print here with that design on the back there. But I'm not using any of these papers. I am using one little piece out of this paper pack, which this is a really nice collection of papers, and it's called Bloom Boutique. And it's got all the new in colors in it, and it's all mostly like small print florals. Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to start with the embossing folder. And let me see here. I've got all my parts and pieces ready to go. So I am going to need, that goes in the middle, so I believe it is this piece here, yes, that I need to emboss. This is a 3D embossing folder, so you need to plan on your embossing sandwich for that. And it actually goes landscape, the design does. So you just need to decide what part of the design that you want on your card. And I am going to do right about here. So it's going to give me that. So I am going to run this through my machine and I'll be right back. I'm not sure if you can see. And actually, I could probably put another layer of something underneath on the sandwich I used to make this more prominent, but I'm fine with the way that it is there. Sometimes it's just as much as a piece of cardstock that you can use as sort of a shim. Okay, so now I am going to bring in Old Olive. And a blending brush. So basically what I'm doing with this piece is sort of creating a background piece of designer paper. So I'm just lightly going to go over this to pick up the design here. This is actually the first time I've played with this since I grabbed it when it first came out. It was like everybody was playing with it. Everybody was doing videos and showing it and excuse me. And so I just sort of held off and thought, I'll just wait and play with it a little later. Of course, then things go unavailable when you want to go order them, but it will, if any of the things that I'm showing you are unavailable, and they're not something that's retired, which I think the only thing that I'm showing today that might be something retired is just one little piece of cardstock. But anyway, what I was going to say is they will be back in stock. So if you have any questions about anything that I am showing you, if I'm not explaining it while I'm on here, just leave me a comment after the video's over in the regular comments section, because a lot of times the chat part goes away and I won't see it. Or if I don't happen to see it while we're live. Hi, Danita. Thank you. Okay, I think I'm about done with this. So now you can see the details on it. It's really cute. Okay, so there's that. And I am just going to give my brush a quick clean off here. I wonder how many times I will stick my fingers in ink today, because, you know, that happens frequently. Okay, so that piece is ready, and now time for some stamping. So where's the stamp set? Here it is. I'm going to use this one with Pooh and Piglet. And let's see. Yeah, I want this piece of, making sure which pieces of my cardstock I have designated for what. Okay, so do I want to do this yet? Actually, I am going to do my little frame first so that I will know where I want to put the other stamp. And being a frame, the whole center of this stamp is open, so you just need to be careful when you pull it off that it's not so stuck to the paper that you rip your stamp. And also, you kind of just want to let it fall into place, otherwise it might be, you know, kind of askew. All right, so there we go with that. And what color am I stamping it in? I think I am stamping it in the old olive. Yes. Okay, let's just ink it one more time. It's probably time for me to put some ink on this pad, maybe. Okay, that looks good. And I remembered to go in and water up and rinse it out, get all the ink out of it. My thing, it looks horrible, but it's just stained. Nothing you can do about that. Not a thing. Okay, so let me close this. And I'm gonna grab Early Espresso, which is a dark brown. So, what's everybody been working on? I owe some people Happy Mail. And those of you who have sent me Happy Mail out know who you are. And just please know that I haven't forgotten that I owe you Happy Mail, and just also know that I have been working on it. So I feel bad that it has taken me so long to get something sent back, but like I said, I've been working on it, gathering some things up with you, those of you who have sent me the Happy Mail in mind. So yeah, it'll be coming your way here soon. All right, so I'm going to, when I was playing with this yesterday, I first inked it up with black, and I did not like that at all. But Early Espresso is the just right color to ink these up with, I do believe. I might have just stuck my arm in that. I don't know for sure. Okay. Yep, I'm going to do it one more time. Yes, it looks so much better in brown than black. Black did not work at all. And I was looking at the paper, and I saw also that the outlines on it were all done in brown. And I thought, yes, that's what needs to happen. Okay. The sun finally did come out here today. I was telling Danita earlier that I had to turn the heat on here, believe it or not, because it was really chilly in the house. Okay, I'm going to set that one aside because I want to go ahead and stamp the sentiment. And I am going to, let me see, which one do I want to use? I'm going to do something different than I did on my card yesterday. I'm going to do this one. The best kind of days are the days spent together. I think that goes really cute with it being Pooh and Piglet there together. So yes, now that the sun's out, I turned the heat back off. All right, do I want to stamp this in Old Olive? I know I don't want to stamp it in Early Espresso. I'm going to go ahead and stamp it in Old Olive since that is the other ink color that I've used. And I'm sure I will probably have to do it more than once. looks pretty good, but it's a little bit light towards the bottom, so I'm going to do it one more time. Cute. Yes, definitely, Danita, I had to get the chill out of the house. And I had to come back here in my stamp room and turn it on back here also. But I've turned it off back here now too. Okay, so I think I am done with that. So I will put that away just to keep from having a craft-a-lanch with stuff getting all scattered about here. And I'm going to do the same with the poo set. All right, so now then I need, now let me take this off of here. I can set that aside. And before I get too carried away, I'm going to go ahead and color this. So I just have a few colors. It's really easy coloring. So this is one of the new in colors called Golden Glow, and I've got the light and the dark here, and it's just a perfect color for poo. Really perfect color. Of course, keep in mind I'm not using white here. White paper. I am using very vanilla. So that changes things a little bit. Not too bad, but a little bit. I'm also trying to be careful because typically when I'm using my alcohol markers, I like to use my Spectrum Noir alcohol friendly cardstock so that the color doesn't bleed outside of the lines. So I'm just trying to keep in mind with that. So when I'm getting around the borders here, that I'm not allowing the ink to excessively go into the paper, I guess. Like I'm trying not to hold my marker down too long right next to the borders, because they are wet, juicy markers because they're brand new. So super simple coloring. All right, now then for Little Piglet, I've got light Barely Blush, and that's also one of the new in colors. And I've got the dark Barely Blush as well. So I'm just gonna use the dark to do a little bit of shading, sort of just where it's indicated on the design here. not much to color on him at all. And then his little shirt, outfit, whatever that is, I'm doing the dark old olive, which is the same color that I stamped the frame in here. This is the dark, and then I'll fill back in with the light. This marker is getting, see how the end is bent? It's getting very dry. I think I have another one, but I just am trying to get the most out of this one before I get rid of it. Okay, there they are. And then I've got a couple of finger daubers here because I don't want them to just be floating. I'm going to bring in the hydrangea hue, which is one of the new colors, and this is also one of the new magnetic ink pads. Oh, I better grab this. And I'm using a brand new ink dauber here, so what I'm wanting to do is get some color on it, but I just want to go in here and give the illusion of a little bit of sky, and that is already darker than I wanted it to be. But I'm going to just kind of go around them. The first one I did yesterday with a blending brush, and that was kind of difficult because it was getting out into the frame, which I didn't really want it to be into the frame. But I was able to get it a little bit lighter. So this is okay. It's all right. And then we'll just do a little bit of pathway down here with some pecan pie. This pad isn't nearly as fresh and wet as the hydrangea hue, so I'm able to go about it in a lighter color here. All right, so that just kind of makes it look to where they're not floating. And now I can cut out that frame. So let's see, I am using that one. I'm going to cut out with some hydrangea hue. This one I'm going to use to cut out that design. And I don't want it moving around on me, so I'm just going to hold it down there with some removable tape. All right, I'll be right back. cute. All right, so there's that. And then, why did I put this back in the package? Okay. Hopefully in here I've got a piece of the hydrangea Q. There it is. Okay, so let me cut this out and I'll be right back. Hi, Patty. So they're building a house, or I think that's what they're still doing on the street behind us. So there's all this tap, 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 tapping going on, which is like kind of annoying. All right, so there's that. And okay, I think we can get busy now making this card. So what I have going on here is a piece of cardstock that is the full length of a standard piece of cardstock, which is 11 inches. And then I've got it cut this way at 5.5. And now I'm going to score this. So grab something to write with in case you want the instructions here. So again, it's 11 inches by 5.5. And the first score, I got it written down over here, is 1 3/4. Make sure I'm using my scoring blade and not my cutting blade. Okay, then we're going to slide it down and score it at 6 inches. And then I need to extend my arm here and score at 9.5. So not too many things that you need to remember. Okay, so do I have it? All right. Okay, that's it. Thank you, Patty. Okay, so I'm gonna fold it on that second score line. So that was the 6-inch one. And I'm just going to give it a burnish here. And then this one here, which is the 1 3/4 score line, is going to go back this way. So there's one of our little Flippy-Flappies. And then this one, which was at, let's see, wait a minute. Yeah, this one actually was at the 9.5-inch mark, this one here. It's going to fold over that one like that. And that's our other little Flippy-Flappy. So they're going to be like that. And then let me pull out my other parts and pieces I have in here. So Remember this one that we did to begin with that I ran through the embossing folder? I'm losing my pieces. Let me get that picked up. I can't pick up flat things very well with my fingernails. All right. So this little embossed piece, and you don't have to put an embossed piece here. You can put whatever you want there, patterned paper, whatever you want. I just thought it would be fun to use this embossing folder since I have it. I always like to put plenty of adhesive on paper that has been embossed. Okay, so let me tell you what this measures. That might be helpful. So this measures 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. So all I did was go in and measure the area and shrink it down 1/4 of an inch on all the sides so that I get that 1/4 of an inch border. So this one again is 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. And I want to try and get my borders as even as I can because I want that to carry over on each piece that I'm putting a patterned type paper on. Okay, so here's my other 2 pieces. This piece I cut out of that floral paper. Let me grab it again. This paper pack that is called Bloom Boutique. So it's pretty much mostly florals. This one is sort of an exception here. This is actually the back side of this piece. And some of them have that pretty gold foiling on them. And for being 12 by 12 paper, the patterns are small, which makes it ideal for card making, okay? So I've cut this strip, and this is 1 1/4, and they're all 5 1/4 inch length, okay? So this one's 1 1/4. So it's gonna go there. Is this a paper that you're talking about, Patty? This is that new, one of the new in colors that Stampin' Up! Has called Hydrangea Hue. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous, I say. Actually, I like all of the colors that they came out with this time. Sometimes I don't like all the colors, but this time they're all these mostly pastel colors. So there is Barely Blush, a really soft, nice baby pink, Crisp Cantaloupe, which is a great peachy color, love it. Golden Glow, which is the color that I colored Pooh with. I think they geared all of these colors to the whole Pooh theme. Peaceful Pine, which is a really nice green, and then this Hydrangea Hue, which is Periwinkle, in my mind, Periwinkle, which is a really hard color sometimes to find. Yeah, it's just sort of, it's got a lot of sort of lavender to it. And I'm folding this flap over so I can make sure that I am trying to match up my margins here with this piece that I laid down. Okay, and then this piece I cut from a retired paper pack that I have in my stash. Many of you may have it, but it's called Timeless Plaid, and it's all really fun plaid and gingham sort of designs. So I am going to use, because the color that's in here, even though it's not the hydrangea hue, I believe it is Highland Heather. Okay, so let me pull out Highland Heather. So so it's not Highland Heather. What color? Oh, Balmy Blue. That's the color that I was thinking, not Highland Heather. What am I talking about? So I believe that doesn't look right either. Let me see what it says on the back here. Boho Blue. Okay, Boho Blue. So this was an in color. That makes sense. Okay. This was an in color, so I'm going to start with what we have now. 1, 2, 3, 4 times ago. So these colors last for like 2 years in their catalog or whatever. This is hydrangea hue. That's boho blue. Not a whole lot of difference. And sometimes they bring past colors back because they've brought colors back that I've never had since I started with Stampin' Up! Several years ago. But I've been buying Stampin' Up! For many years. So, yeah, and some of the colors they've brought back are colors that I've never heard of, but that they've had in the past. Okay, so cute, right? I think it is. Okay, so now I've cut a belly band here, and it is 9.5 inches long by 1 inch wide. So when you cut your piece of cardstock to get your base, you're going to have a chunk left over. So just cut a 1 inch strip and then just trim it down 1.5 inches to 9.5 inches, if that makes sense. Unless you're using scraps, but anyway, that's what I did for mine. And if you want yours to be wider this way, you can certainly do it however you want to do it. Let me get my inside piece here. So this is going to go here, and this ends up making our standard size 5.5 by 4.25 inch card. So this is 4 by 5.25. If you want another piece to put on this side for more area to write in, then you can do that. Or if you wanted to put another piece of patterned paper in there on any of these other, you could do that too. It's all up to you because you are the one making your card. And you can do it as fancy as you want. All right. So if you wanted to make this for a celebration card of some type, with whatever stamps you're using, and you wanted to put a gift card or money in it, you could totally put like a little pocket on this page to tuck money or a gift card into. That would be an idea. So that is going to go like that, and then this is going to wrap around. Let me see if I can get it so it won't be tweaked. I'm not going to fold it too much until I can line it up here. Okay. So now what I want to do is I'm going to put my finger there where I saw the edge was, because I don't want to go beyond that with my glue. And I'm just going to come in with some wet glue and try to not get it too close to the edge so that it oozes out. We don't want any oozing out. And then I'm going to put it right on the end here, just so that the ends get glued down pretty well. And then let me line this up like that. Okay, and then I'm going to just slide it off, and I can press it down a little bit with my bone folder, because now I know where it needs to be folded. Okay, so then we're going to come back to this. I'm going to pop this piece up. All right. That's probably plenty. I love how on this one here, you get the little stitch marks. Let me bring that die set back in. So you get the little stitch marks on this piece, and there's several of them that have stitch marks around. Both of these ones that are going this way have stitch marks. And then there are leaves in this set and little acorns that you can, it's just a very cool die set, I think. Okay, so let's pop this up. I'll lay it down gently in case I need to move it once I get it laid down. Maybe if I hold it this way, I can see it better. I really love this color too, Patty. It's just like, well, I still swear it's periwinkle because it's got so much of a lavender blue combination. Okay, so there we have that. And then I'm going to keep this seam here in the front, because then you'll never see it, because this is going to go over the top of it here. And I'm going to glue that flat. So what I'm going to do is just put some glue kind of right along the middle. Like this. And then I will take this to that and try to get it somewhat centered both directions. That looks pretty decent to me. Maybe it needs to come down on that side a little bit. I could always count the little stitch dot marks, but I'm not going to. Maybe it needs to go that way just a touch. Close enough, I say. And then this is just going to slide from either the top or the bottom. So she says it's going to. Okay, let me see what I'm doing here. There we go. Maybe I shouldn't have creased the sides. It's gonna work, trust me, it's gonna work. Maybe here, let me just do this. I probably shouldn't have creased the sides so flat. Okay, let's try this again. See what I'm doing. Okay. There we go. Slide it down where I want it. Cute. All right, now look at these that I have. They are teeny tiny little pearly butterflies in 2 different sizes. Are these adorable or what? Okay, these are called, 26 to 28 in color butterflies. So I guess the colors are, they keep the colors around for, so 26, 27, 28, 3 years, not 2 years, I guess. Okay, so since my sky is so dark, I want these to show up. I'm gonna do a white butterfly, or whatever color that is. There's actually white and light pink. I want to do a white one. So I'm going to do a white butterfly and a yellow butterfly. I want a small yellow one like this. And then we'll do this color over here. I don't want it tilted quite so much. Ah, I think that's cute. Very cute card. Here's the one I made yesterday. So I did the Golden Glow card base. And this paper right here was from the Pooh paper. It was one of the sort of back sides. And I stamped, "I will love you until forever and even after that." So there's how that one turned out. Aw, I think they're cute. I like them. Danita, I think you say that on several of the cards I've made. But I will take it as so far this is your most favorite one now. All right, we are still in Wisdom from the World according to Mr. Rogers, important things to remember. I don't think I read these pages. If I did, we're going to hear them again. When we can resign ourselves to the wishes that will never come true, there can be enormous energies available within us for whatever we can do. Feeling good about who we are doesn't come just from people telling us they like us. It comes from inside of us, knowing when we've done something helpful, or when we've worked hard to learn something difficult, or when we've stopped just when we were about to do something we shouldn't, or when we've been especially kind to someone else. Along with the times we're feeling good about who we are, we can experience times when we're feeling bad about who we are. It's true that when we take a great deal of our own upbringing on into our adult lives and our lives as parents, but it's true too that we can change some of the things that we would like to change. It can be hard, but it can be done. As work grows out of play, an attitude toward work grows within it, an attitude that may persist all through our workaday life. That attitude can have a lot to do with how we accept challenges, how we can cope with failures, and whether we can find the inner fulfillment that makes working in and of itself worthwhile. We are all neighbors. From the song, Won't You Be My Neighbor? We've all heard this, right? I'm not going to sing it. I could sing it. Can you tell I was contemplating singing it? If I could hear you guys, we could all sing it together. I'm not going to sing it. I won't put you through that, but I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? I'm gonna stop right there. Made me feel a little teary. Okay, you guys. Perfect sayings to go along with these poo cards, I think. I'd love it if you guys were my neighbors for real. All right, take care. Have a great weekend ahead. I am going to have probably a quick video for Saturday morning makes that I will have to do ahead because we've got a car show on Saturday. So look out for that, I guess. And I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you giving me thumbs up. I appreciate all the comments and the taking part in the chat. And no, I couldn't resist singing the last line. All right, you guys, I will see you in my next video. Happy crafting. Bye-bye.